Hello and welcome to another episode of the FemiNinja Project, and thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I have a fantastic and fascinating guest with me today, and he's going to tell us about some healing, how to heal pain, injuries through an innovative new technology. His name is John Graham Harper, and he is a certified master trainer, speaker, and fitness professional with over 15 years' experience in the industry, and also the founder of John Graham Fitness. John's personal journey through training and competitions led to the creation and discovery of Lumaflex, a revolutionary device offering a range of benefits, including accelerated healing, enhanced athletic performance, and improved overall health, not only for athletes, but for anyone looking to heal from pain, injuries, or to improve their level of function and general health and well-being. John, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to share and to obviously have access to your audience. You've obviously taken a lot of time and built a lot of trust with your audience. I greatly respect that, greatly appreciate it. So yeah, wonderful. I'm glad to be here. I hope I can add some value to your listeners.
Well, you've already added value before the show, and we were just having our casual conversation. So I'm so excited about hearing about Lumaflex, but tell us how you became interested in athletics right from the very beginning. I mean, when did this start? Were you just born like, with a desire to move and to train?
Yeah, I was born as a skinny kid that wasn't confident. That's usually how it works. You're skinny, you're not confident, and you don't you don't feel you have much of an imprint or like an impact on the planet. So you want to get some validation. You want people to respect you, to know who you are. This is me. This is what I'm capable of. That's usually how things get started when it comes to sports, fitness, getting into the gym. So I was exactly the same. If you can imagine a skinny white kid with freckles and red hair, very, very small joints. I was someone that was I wanted to get into the gym to build armor. That armor was like confidence. And then it kind of just kept going. And then I obviously got a lot of feedback emotionally and mentally from getting stronger in the gym, built my confidence. So I obviously want to share that. I want to impart this to other people. Like, you can have this amazing confident feeling as well. That was kind of where, the spark started with fitness. But and they got into sports. I went into competitive sports. I built gyms. I built like fitness companies, like supplement companies, technology companies. Wow. I tried everything. I was very much a yes man in my younger years, and I had a lot of ambition, but I didn't have the attention to detail, you could say. I was more into like, just put my head down, and let's just make it work rather than stopping, waiting, assessing. So obviously that led to a lot of not just business failures, but also a lot of injury in my sporting career. But the great thing about it is now at the age of 38, where I'm in a position more where I can reflect, I've taken more of a holistic approach to my own health. I was introduced red light therapy by my wife. And that was to help me with a knee injury I had from doing competitive CrossFit. It healed me in like 2 weeks. I didn't need the device anymore. But the device that was used wasn't so user friendly. It was very cumbersome. It's heavy. So it kind of got my brain ticking to create something that was more suited to me as an athlete that was always on the go. And that's where Lumaflex came. And then, of course, getting into photo biomodulation and, in red light therapy, getting into this space. Obviously, I've seen all these other amazing remedies and tricks and tips and from, functional medicine doctors and biohackers and optimizers. It's been very rewarding because, I've learned a lot about functional medicine, about what, the true definition of health, because when you're young and you're in sports, all about like protein, get your protein in and, lift. It's kind of a very superficial fitness and health is kind of very superficial, but when you speak to people that are a bit more centered and it's more about mind and body working together, they're both healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. You sort of how health is something much bigger than just, you know, the physical. So that's obviously been very rewarding to me. But yeah, I've had a miraculous recovery from red light therapy, and launching a red light therapy product. I've been able to help other people like me that have gone through, you know, have had injury and needed to recover. And it's very rewarding, right? I get a lot of testimonials of people that thought their sporting career was over, or, you know, this one lady on a plane told me that she said it was like a miracle that she met me. She said, you know, God sent me to you, because I met her on a plane and I had my device, and she was like, "What's this?" And she needed it for her sister who had a condition, had arthritis. So being able to, it's very rewarding, like I said, to have this, so it kind of keeps me motivated to obviously keep talking about red light therapy and raise the overall awareness of how transformative and game-changing red light therapy can be to anybody, right?
Well, going back to when you were talking about, training when you were younger and just, putting your head down and, just boom, I'm going to go through and power through everything. And I think
Mhm.
that as we mature and get a little bit older and wiser, that's when the mind body connection kind of comes in, especially if we've experienced injuries along the way. And I'm really curious about your wife. How did she learn about red light therapy?
I think because my wife's Chinese, honestly, I think they she knew about it for a long time, and I think it's been well understood and used in in Chinese culture for quite some time. But the device that I had that she gave me was a very large lamp, and the
Mm.
the red bulb was very large, and it would get very hot. So it had like, because like Asian culture is all about heat therapy,
Mm-hmm.
whereas
Yep.
Western culture it's like cold therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Our strategy for inflammation is cold, whereas with Asians it's heat, right? They have these oils that they like Tiger Balm, and
Mm-hmm.
they do
Love
like
that.
the hot rocks and the
Mm-hmm.
cup. You know, the cupping, that's
Cupping.
another big one. So they put like a flame into the cup,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks out the negative toxins. So the but yeah, that I thought that the heat was actually was healing me, but it was the light.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sort of in Chinese, in the way it's used in China, is also a lot with the heat side as
Mm-hmm.
well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
devices are usually have heat as well as light.
Mm-hmm.
But really what heals you on a cellular level is the light. The light
Mm-hmm.
is wavelengths of light that penetrate your skin and activate your mitochondria. So
Mm-hmm.
that is so yeah, I think right now her grandfather's using it. It's quite funny. He's it's been upgraded to him. um but yeah, that is a very good question about how is, because Asian culture does have certain things that are ahead, and then some things are behind. It's
Mm-hmm.
a give and take on both sides. Something
Mm-hmm.
I've seen.
Well, that's interesting. When you were describing the light that she gave you that was rather cumbersome, I remember it sounds like the old-fashioned heat lamps that we used to use, or, I never used them, but I remember my mom would, her back would bother her every now and again. I mean, my goodness, she had 5 kids. And, my dad would put a heat lamp on her, and it was like this great, big, cumbersome, big
Yeah.
round bulb, encased in metal. And all I could think of, even watching, was, oh God, I hope that thing doesn't fall on her back.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like something that like the bad guy in a movie uses to torture his victims.
Right?
It's like one of these things where you're like, what does that do? Stay
Hmm.
away from it. But yeah, it's just that old technology, right? Which now obviously with LEDs,
Hmm.
LEDs are like that's the future of light therapies. LED technology is growing fast. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Mm.
So how did you get started then trying to develop this company when you experienced and you understand how the red light therapy works, but yet, the devices that you were introduced to were cumbersome. Where did you get the idea of making something that would be portable, which I think is absolutely brilliant? especially if you are an athlete or somebody who travels a lot. You just throw it in your bag and boom, you've got something to help you heal no matter where you are.
Yeah, exactly that. You hit the nail right on the head. Portability, I think, is the key thing, because now there are a lot of light therapy products out, even since the launch of Lumaflex, which is, it's like under a year, it's like nine months now launched.
Wow.
But prior to that, I was in development for like almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very hefty amount of time just developing the product.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of R&D, lots of prototyping, lots of, it's a lot of testing. But where the red light therapy, the sort of the consumer products were hit with large panels, where that you would buy them and you would put them in your home and you would stand in front of them, which, if you need treatment, yes, I can see myself standing there. I could see a large, group of the population actually standing and getting treatment this way. But I thought, where we're really going to see benefit in red light therapy taking off is if we mainstream it. We make it like, like the smartphone. We make it like super accessible, anytime, anywhere, on the go, portable. That's what made sense to me. Because in fitness, there's always and just like what we were talking about with your martial art background, consistency is such a big thing when it comes to success. Anything that you want to be done, even if it's your own health, your recovery, or success in business, relationships, whatever, it's all about not doing a lot at one time. It's about doing a little bit every single day. It's always, and that sort of mantra, that sort of, this practice is very big in sports, in fitness, like, oh, count your calories, make sure you go to the gym every day, don't try to lift, 200 kgs at once, start at 100, then 105. This process, this consistency thing is sort of brainwashed in everything. Even like, now running the company and working with a lot of great people on my team, I always tell them, I'm like, I don't want big steps. I want small steps every day. Small steps. As long as we are moving just a little bit forward, at the end, when it comes to the business, we're going very fast. But when we try to jump and we have to backtrack, we bump, we make some mistakes. So that's where I thought was like a portable device. Use it everywhere. That was very exciting to me. So, but now, yeah, there are a few other portable devices out there. Each one has sort of their point of difference. But I always stuck with this portable idea and thinking, if we're really going to change the world and introduce red light therapy and have it as something that really gets the whole world to go, wow, I need to look into this. We need to have it portable. And the message I push is pain management. So a portable pain management solution. That's kind of what I keep saying to everyone, because that's where we'll get that positive feedback and the world will.
And that's absolutely brilliant, because when you were describing, the big panel and stand there for the red light, all I could think of was, if I'm getting some kind of therapy, any kind of therapy, I want to be lying down. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to stand there, especially if I have an injury that I'm healing from.
That's right. That's right. It's just, when something isn't, if you have to adapt to something, the chances of it being something you're going to be doing is very little. The same time next year, likely not going to do it, because they do that with dieting, like, oh, give me a diet plan. And I remember when I was a personal trainer, I would say, no, it doesn't work like that, because it's better that you kind of gravitate towards healthy eating on your own, and you kind of create that. You don't adapt to the diet plan. Let the diet plan adapt to you. Don't have a product that you have to adapt to. Have the product adapt to you, because then I can predict this same time next year we're going to be on the same page. And I see that. I just see, like, with the standing devices, there is an opportunity there. There is a use case for it, but a portable device is where I see. Are you using your Lumaflex? Are you using your Lumaflex? Yeah, I got it with me right here. I can kind of guarantee it's going to be, in use, and it's going to give that effect, right? I'm going to get the benefit, the feedback.
Yeah, I just saw this tagline pop into my brain really quickly. Show me your Lumaflex.
Yeah. Where's your Lumaflex?
It right? Okay, so explain or describe how, on a cellular level, that the red light therapy heals tissue.
Heals. So it's so whenever in photobiomodulation, all these scientists and doctors, whenever they use red light therapy for a condition, a human condition, the condition that they're trying to attack the condition on a cellular level, because light can actually penetrate skin and go into your cells and activate your mitochondria. Mitochondria being the engine of the cell. So it can give energy to the engine of the cell, allowing the cell to do what it's supposed to do. So 3 mechanisms that occur from the energy given to the cell: increased ATP, enhanced blood circulation, then of course, anti-inflammation, which is the big one. Anti-inflammation as a mechanism where if we're able just to use light, which is from the sun, don't forget, red and infrared light is from the sun, right? When we were during caveman times, or back in Bible times, we would rise when the sun would rise. That was like our morning wake up, and our eyes touching sunlight, right? When we'd come out of our shelters, and our eyes, you don't have to look at the sun, but when your eyes are exposed to sunlight, that starts your circadian rhythm. So, when the rooster would crow, why does he always crow when it's sunrise? Why does he do that? How does he know to do that? Because that's just that's the way the world works, right? Or at least the way it did work. So going to sleep when the sun went down and waking up when the sun would rise, that was how we would operate. But of course, now obviously time schedules, people travel. We obviously have artificial light, so we can be up late. We can pull all-nighters at the office. So we're not so in touch with our body clock, our biology. But that's how many people forget of light and how important it is for us as human beings, not just for pain management or to address a certain condition, but how it is part of like our life cycle, our daily routine. I always say, like, drink clean water every day. This is a need. Eat healthy food, right? No, of course, you can have some unhealthy food at times, but as a human, your goal is to eat healthy food, right? You need to give fuel to your body, because that's that's how you're gonna operate. You're gonna perform. You need deep sleep, and you need to move. You need to exercise. You need to move, right? You don't need to be doing practicing in martial arts like you, or doing 200 kg deadlifts like me, but you need to move. You need to get out, right? You need sedentary life is looking at life that's full of disease. So movement is important. But I always say, addition to that is light. You need to have good, healthy light. Healthy light being natural light, red light, infrared light, right? There are devices now which you can buy that just give you a healthy dose of sunlight. So you can put it on your desk. You can set the timer for 5 minutes, and you put on the glasses, and you get a healthy dose of sunlight, right? Which is amazing, right? Why can't you just go outside? But this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. So, I mean, there's so many outcomes that are created from those mechanisms. So you were talking earlier about beauty, about the masks, right? Because it produces collagen in your skin. There are devices now for your hair to help your hair grow, right? Because it produces your cells in your hair. There are devices like for wound healing. So doctors will use like red light laser therapy to help with wound healing if you have a cut. But again, I always talk about where people's sort of motivations are in pain is a big thing, drives a lot of people's decisions. People can go down a dark path of using medication, being addicted to medication, perhaps going into surgery when they don't need to have surgery. So I always talk about red light therapy, and it's something that should be explored at least and tried as a pain management solution. If you have arthritis, right? If you have that sore neck, it's always bothering you. Like my dad, he always had a bad neck. My mom, it was always her knees. She had very serious arthritis in her knees. And they've been changed just by using red light therapy. Whereas before it was like, well, it's either medication, surgery, or it's creams or patches or wraps that they put on their bodies to like try to, you know, sticky tape themselves together, right?
Mhm.
When you can use light and you can be healed, right?
I'm glad you brought up the wound healing. You know, I'm a, pardon me, I am a recovering physical therapist, is what I call myself. So we did a lot of work with wounds, you know, in the hospitals and in the nursing homes, and trying to heal that tissue, especially in older people who do not have the kind of circulation and the kind of, you know, level of health that they need to heal those wounds. I mean, it was almost absolutely barbaric. And all I could think of is, you know, can't you come up with something? And I know that we did have hyperbaric oxygen. I'm also
Mm.
a former respiratory therapist, and I was working in the hospitals when hyperbaric oxygen finally came to be. And it was a result of so many failed wounds that required, you know, amputation and other horrible things. So this is just so simple and so basic. And as you said, it's natural. And the other thing
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that when you were talking about light, it almost seems like over the years, and that's changed now, that light was given kind of like a bad rap. Don't go in
Mhm.
the sun. If you do go in the sun, cover every inch of your body with sunscreen. And you know, you can tell I'm very fair, so I was always careful in the sun, but we crave light.
Yes, exactly. It's so key. It's so key to not just our, just physically, but even our mood. You know,
Mental health.
yeah, it's so hard to be depressed or anxious when you go outside and you're in the sun. You're like,
Mhm.
wow, good morning to me. You know, you just sometimes like the best way to get, I mean, if you get up and you get outside and you walk for a good 10 minutes, it can pretty, you know, your day will be better than if you didn't do the walk. It just will be.
Mhm. And
No promises.
it's not just the light, it's just the fact that your body is moving, and already it'll elevate your mood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just
So now, let me ask you this: it was your mother-in-law or your mother that used
my
the red light
mother.
for her knees?
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
had. I just want to emphasize this. I'm going back to this just so the listeners can, you know, perk their ears up a little bit more. She had arthritis in her knees,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and
So
for
this,
anybody who's had arthritis, that's pretty darn painful.
yeah.
And
So
they
walking,
always tell us that, you know, that you cannot get, you know, the cartilage back because you're bone on bone. So take it away.
that's right. So you can imagine like my mother getting older, me being someone in fitness, there's a discussion we're having where she's like, how am I going to exercise? Like, mom, you should go for walks, go for runs, go for hikes. And she's like, my knees, my knees. I had my relationship with my mother was very, very tight. I was a mama's boy, and I still am. I'm a big mama's boy. My mama, for, you know, always she's always first place. So that was something that was really, you know, and of course, me being this trainer, like, let's wrap your knees or let's do massage. You know,
Mhm,
we do these heat massages. But now using red light therapy, right? But it is something for her particular. She has to keep doing it. She doesn't have any pain now. She can
mhm,
walk, but it's not like, oh, throw the device away. I'm like, you need to keep using it. She
mhm,
still needs to have the cells in those in still need to keep regenerating. Um, so she does it like it is a daily thing that she does to
mhm,
maintain pain-free,
mhm,
you know, being able to walk, being able to go out on hikes and everything. But that was a really special moment for me as well with my mother with her knees. And I can remember her like coming to the gym, you know, when I was a trainer, and I would like book her in, and she would be like, John, you know, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you your fee. And I was like, no. She's like, no, I'm going to pay you the fee. And I remember she would like come in and she would have like her knees wrapped up, you
mhm,
know, and she would like be walking on the treadmill, like doing her best, right? Even though she always had these really terrible knees. I remember those were really special times. But yeah, it's
mhm,
nice that that pain is something of the past now that she doesn't have to think about.
mhm,
Because arthritis is not is something that is I don't want to say it's easily covered with red light therapy, but there's a lot of clinical research and majority of testimonies of
mhm,
people with arthritis.
mhm,
They say red light therapy has miraculously healed them. It's just based on the person, how long it
mhm,
takes, how long that recovery can get, you know, start
mhm,
to take effect. You know, sometimes it's short, sometimes it's a little bit longer, but
mhm,
then you know, when that pain then goes away, it's just about maintaining, keeping the light on a daily basis, or maybe once a week or twice a week. But yeah, that's something I would encourage anyone suffering from arthritis. Please look into red light therapy.
Mhm. And like
Um,
you said, just
Mhm.
being consistent. And is there, which I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm just going to ask you anyway. Is there like a cumulative effect of benefit if you are using it on a regular basis?
There's definitely a benefit for you as a human,
Hmm.
as your overall well-being, but for a pain area, clinical research has shown that you a dose of about 20 minutes on a particular area,
Hmm.
you can't really go any higher and achieve a bigger benefit.
Hmm.
You flatline.
Okay.
But everyone's battery, everybody's self battery does deplete at different times.
Hmm.
So someone like my mom, she may do 20 minutes in the morning, for
Hmm.
example. Then she may go out walking and she may be active. She goes shopping, she goes sees her friends, has a cup of coffee and then she can do it because her battery will deplete because of that arthritis, that inflammation. She can do another 20 minutes again at night,
Okay.
right? So because her battery's depleted. Other people, they may feel okay, and then they're like, oh, they still have more battery. So
Hmm.
then they can
Hmm.
just do it the next day. So everybody's a bit different, but 20
Hmm.
minutes is kind of the time roughly for every human being to where that the targeted area has achieved its full dose, you could
Hmm.
say. It's full
Okay.
dose.
And now
Yeah.
I have another question because unfortunately my husband had both knees replaced before red light therapy became a thing. We did try to stall, the surgery and we held up doing alternative things for about 8 years before, he finally just had to have it done. But he was being treated by a chiropractor with some kind of laser. So, and it did take the edge off, but it wasn't quite the technology, of course, that what you've got right now. And had both knees done, doing great. He's out playing pickleball right now. So I have the whole
Wow.
house to myself.
Wow.
But my question is, if somebody does have a knee replacement or a joint replacement, could you use the red light therapy on that area?
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it only would because it's we're human beings, right? We're made
Hmm.
up of cells, billions of cells.
Hmm.
So all we're doing is giving energy to the cell. So
Hmm.
even in with certain joints that have been severely damaged and are in recovery or been
Hmm.
replaced or been healed but are let's say modified from how they originally were. There's the cells are still benefiting
Hmm.
from the ATP, from right.
Okay.
You're still giving benefit to the cells in that area. I don't know if it would mean that he would start doing some karate kicks or like or start playing professional football, but at least he's giving energy to the cells in that area.
Oh, that's
I mean,
hilarious. Yeah, that's the one thing my
yeah,
husband has never done is a karate kick.
yeah,
He's a aging jock, let's just put it that way, an older athlete who wrecked his knees pretty good playing a lot of basketball, and of course then started skiing as an adult and stuff, and didn't have quite the body awareness that some of us have, so he just beat himself to a pulp.
yeah. Basketball, skiing, tennis. These are
Mm.
very hard on your knees, very
Hmm.
jarring on your knees. I used to work with a golfer who had like his entire knee, like he couldn't even bend it. It was basically like he just wrecked his knee. Like he
Oh,
needed to have surgery to put a metal plate in there, but he just said, I'd rather just never, he just never could bend his knee. It would
oh
just
my
hurt.
goodness, I couldn't imagine that.
Really, yeah, knee, and the knee area is a very severe. That was the area like getting injured in my knee, and that's when you
Yeah.
started red light therapy. That was the injury that kind of broke me the most
Hmm.
because it's the most debilitating. You're not able to walk, right? You're
It's
not
not
able
only
to.
debilitating, it's incredibly difficult to rehab.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, and
right.
I feel very blessed because I have been a ballet dancer. I've studied ballet now for, oh my goodness, like 47 years, and I'm still dancing. I skied downhill skiing for 40 years. Okay, I wasn't a racer. I mean, I was, you know, a competent skier, but I didn't do moguls or anything like that. And then 20 years of martial arts, and my knees are still in really great shape. and I want to keep them that way.
Yeah, that's right. You're blessed. Some people, that's one joint. I think you want to have that one stronger than any other. I think shoulders, like I busted both
Shoulders.
my shoulders, but
Oh,
you can rehab. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take it easy. But your knees, if they're gone, you're
mhm.
you can't do anything. You're like,
No.
I'd rather not be able, because I was a rugby player, so losing the ability to play rugby, that was okay. I can live with that.
Right.
But not being able to walk or run or squat or just have a powerful foundation with your legs,
Hmm.
that's tough. That's a tough
Hmm.
one.
Yeah. So now, are there any potential side effects or, you know, things that you need to look out for if, you want to try the red light therapy?
Yeah, I mean, there's no negative side effects, no known negative side
Hmm.
effects. Um, but there's an interesting discussion about eyes, because there's a lot of benefit to using red and infrared light to help with dry eye, like you mentioned before,
Hmm.
like doctors use it to cure eye disease. But there's also another side that says it's not wise to look directly into an
Hmm.
infrared light LED. So you should keep your eyes closed. There's a bit of conflict.
Hmm.
So obviously there is I would be careful of eyes. Do not
Right.
look into.
Right.
I never want to tell anybody to look into it. I do myself use red light therapy with my eyes closed.
Hmm.
But I'm not saying anybody should do that.
Hmm.
Um, there's also, I'm not allowed to say use it when you're pregnant. I'm not allowed to
Hmm.
say that when you have a heart condition, because obviously there's a liability.
Hmm.
But if you talk to photobiomodulation doctors that have devoted their entire lives to red light therapy and studying it, and helping to endorse it by posting or endorsing clinical research, they will say use it for everything. If you've got any condition, you should use it. So there is that, that side. But when you got a product, when you have a brand, and there's liability, even though the Lumaflex is an FDA class 2,
Hmm.
it is FDA cleared, still there's liability involved, and we need to say, like, don't use it when you're pregnant, don't use it for heart conditions,
Hmm.
don't use it, don't look straight into the LEDs.
Hmm.
But I would encourage everyone to go explore the clinical research. Just look up these doctors, these scientists that, again, like, they've devoted their lives to this. This is all
Hmm.
they just talk and research red light therapy and can't shut up about it. There's amazing things that they do, that they talk about. Amazing things that red light therapy can do.
Yeah. So, John, what do you think the future of red light therapy is? Because I'm kind of getting the impression that we've just, we're scratching the surface right
Yeah,
now and we're seeing,
just
yeah.
just about to tick off. I think in the next 5 years, every person will have at least maybe 3 devices in their home.
Hmm.
It could be small devices like a pen
Hmm.
for pimples, or for beauty or something.
Hmm.
One maybe for pain management, or maybe one for like overall well-being, like a bed or a panel.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think in the future, everyone will be using this. Everybody,
Hmm.
everybody. It's a very fast moving space right now
Hmm.
in recovery. I would say is the
Hmm.
recovery is the larger space,
Hmm.
in sort of the sports wellness optimization
Hmm.
health,
Hmm.
biohacking category. It's very fast moving, and it's getting, and there's so much clinical research behind it, right?
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
lot of clinical studies being regularly published about it. There's a PubMed article I found not too long ago. It's like published in 2016, and it talks about red light therapy being the unfair advantage in sport. So reading it, the sort of the summary of what the article was about was, like, it needs to be generally understood that in competitive sports, if one team is using red light therapy, the other team should be using red light therapy, because they will have a competitive advantage. So, like, as long as everyone understands it and is all
Hmm.
using it, and it's okay. But these are we need to start making sure it's fair in
Hmm.
competitive sports for what's coming, how fast it's becoming used in the competitive sport. It's like we need some kind of regulatory system here. So
Okay,
that
so
I was,
now
wow, it's
that in
amazing.
its that in itself is a heck of a testimony.
Yeah, exactly. That I was like, that's a PubMed article. So because there's the recovery aspect, the pain
Mhm.
management, you know, so an athlete goes, he finishes, he recovers, he's ready for the next game. But there's another side. It's
Mhm.
performance boost, just
Mhm.
elevate. Can you imagine if you know, you have these athletes, they're like, you know, on the basketball court, they're sitting on the, you know, on the bench, they're ready to go play. And they've just done, like I said, that 20-minute charge up, a full body, you know, in a bed
Mhm.
or in a sauna or something.
Mhm.
All their cells have all this energy, right? It's like imagine if you know the two cars, right, that
Mhm.
are you know, the race cars,
Mhm.
and one revs the engine,
Mhm.
and then he takes off the brake and he goes, whereas the other car starts. That's the difference you have with an athlete who has done his full dose of red light therapy and he's ready to play, whereas the other guy is just like, oh, you know, he's just
Just
warming
warming
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's
really
great.
such an interesting, like, I sent that obviously to all my fitness friends, my athletes, everyone. It was like, wow, guys, this isn't a question of whether or not it works. It's
Mhm.
not in the future. It's not going to be fair if one side uses it or one athlete uses it and the other one doesn't. It's not going to be fair.
So, do you still work with athletes? Do you still train with them, or do you coach them, or where are you at with that? I mean, you do have your, John Graham Fitness, and you're
No,
also golf.
no,
No.
no. Yeah, yeah. The only business I focus on now is recovery. Is obviously it's medical, so red light therapy is just
Mhm.
Lumaflex. But of course, all the athletes, all the, you know, the fitness influencers, that these connections, these friendships that I've made over
Mhm.
all the years.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's wonderful because now I have a great tool that all of them can use. So
Mhm.
through that, I've gotten a lot of ambassadors. I have a
Mhm.
lot of ambassadors that are
Nice.
fighters, that are yeah, every kind of sport you can imagine.
Mhm.
So now I'm able to say, oh, do you want to, you endorse me, right? You endorse the product, right? Join
Mhm.
our ambassador team. So
Mhm.
that's really helpful to have, like, I think I've got like, it's close to 300 athletes, pro athletes that all are ambassadors of
Wow.
them.
Wow, that's incredible. So, one more question. How did you come up with the name?
Luma, light, flexible, flex, as in flexible.
Nice. Ooh, look at that.
So it's
So
a
for those
silicone.
Wait, so for those of you who are just listening to the audio, you need to go to YouTube channel and look at that. Wow. Oh,
aim it
that's
at the
awesome.
Aim it at your spine, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
every
I'm
morning.
drooling here. I'm salivating. This just looks so delicious and so yummy,
Yeah.
especially when you put it on the back of your neck because
Yes.
everybody's tight there.
Yes. Oh, yeah. My spots every morning. One,
Mhm.
two, three. Then I do gut. Get the
Mhm.
gut. And then if I've got a tweaky back,
Mhm.
then I put on the back. But so this is a silicone. So very, very durable. You obviously can clean it. This one's the essential. I have another one, which is the Body Pro, which is black, and that's fully waterproof. You can put it underwater. So when I was saying like the R&D of developing it, you know, taking all those years, it was to try to make the device waterproof, fully waterproof. You can go underwater and it still works. And you can have it like for ice baths or in the shower. Because
Mhm.
where red light therapy has the most benefits when it's touching your skin. Because
Mhm.
when you have, see, you lose a lot of light reflects. So you're
Yeah.
losing, so you want to touch your skin. So it's got you, by touching your skin. I was thinking, you know, when is the time when you're not wearing any clothes? Oh, when you're in the shower or when you're in the
Mhm.
pool or when you're in ice bath. Let's make it waterproof. Yeah, so it's
That was
quite cool.
brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah, fully silk. So it's durable, flexible, portable. Yeah, and the Body Pro is waterproof. So that's
So
the idea.
then, how do do you have to recharge it every now and again?
Yeah, it's a charging port.
Okay.
And the battery, like this is, so I could turn on the battery, turn off
Mhm.
the battery, and then it's just, once the battery's on, it's just easy on, off, and then you just charge it. Yeah. But this is like, that's the idea. It's like a companion that you just take with you wherever you go. And you
Mhm.
aim at the pain. You got a sore shoulder, you know, or you just need to wake up. You just need to feel energized, get
Mhm.
focused. get ready for the day and you don't want to smash 7 cups of coffee. It's like just forehead, put it on your head, put on the back of your spine. You'd be amazed at how amazing you feel just by putting it on your head.
Wow. Well, I know how the devices that I use, and they're not nearly the quality and the level of what you've got here showing, but yeah, it makes a really big difference. It just, I don't want to say it energizes me, but it does. It makes me feel a little bit more awake and alive, and I'm thinking more clearly, which, that's
Yes.
always a good thing.
That's right. Yeah. This is the Iron Man. I call this the Iron Man. So, because it comes when you buy it, it has straps, obviously. But it's funny because, you make a product, you make the straps, you make the full kit, but you realize, the customer experience, the user experience, right? People just put it in their shirt. They just shift it like to the area. Like you're working on you just shift it. People, the straps are not actually used as much. In all the customer feedback, people are just like, no, I'll just stick it in my clothes. Like I just, at the end of the day, I just lay down, I put it on my head. I don't strap it to my head. It's like interesting.
Funny how it evolves, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay, so John, where can people find you? How can they get this incredible device? Like you have more than just that one that
Yes,
you
I've
showed
got the
us.
black one. I just don't know where I put it. But yeah, I've got the Body Pro and then I have the Essential. So if you just go to lumaflex.com, every single month we launch like a special for the month. Every holiday we launch a special. What else do we do? We always have bundles. We like work with other brands, so we combine some of the products that using their product and the Lumaflex together kind of optimizes your red light therapy. So I'm always like crossing over with other products, other brands. But yeah, every holiday, if you go to lumaflex.com, there'll be something. There'll always be an offer. I love offers.
Wonderful. So where do you see the company going in like the next few years? I'm so excited for you.
I mean, I definitely have my aspirations, but I always, it's good to have the goal, to have the vision, keep it in sight, but then, stay very present and make sure you get what you need to get. It's like my problem in the past is I've always kept my head in the clouds. You need to have a bit of your head in the clouds, and then you got to have your feet grounded. So there is a bright future ahead, but I'm more about like, what do we do, and in the team, what are we doing this week? What's our goals for this week? What's our goals for this month? Let's kill it this week. Let's kill it this month. And let's not worry about next month. Let's just do what we can. It comes down to this day, this week, this month. But in the greater sense of, I would love to be part of the whole red light therapy movement. I always tell people, get on the red light therapy train, get on the train, because the more people that talk about it, the more it becomes more mainstream. All of our companies that do these products, the whole industry elevates and the world becomes better. We're doing a natural, non-invasive means of treatment. People are talking about, when I was young, if people were talking to me about light, healing light, I would go, ooh, hey, easy there, easy. Get away, you hippie, this little schmo, right? I don't know. It was back in those days, it was like all new age, like you're wacky. But now people are they get it. Yeah, light. We need light. We have people like Andrew Herberman and Gary Brecka, these guys, they're endorsing, how important light is. So the industry is elevated. And I want everybody to get involved and help grow the awareness. And to be part of that is kind of what I want to be involved in the future. We could really, if I have a small part to play in truly mainstreaming red light therapy for everyone, the masses, that would be a very nice thing to go to sleep, in my later years, when I'm still competing, like I said, we're still.
You will be. I know you will be. Well, my goodness, look, you've got the tools to help you. You're going to be going on until you're 90 and plus that.
Yes, that's it for sure.
Well, I think that this is just such an incredibly powerful message of hope. for people who are suffering with pain or injuries, but not only that, even for our society as a whole to be able to have tools that are alternative methods of healing so we don't have to automatically go for the medications, which has, a lot of different side effects. Go for the surgery, which can
Right.
have some pretty bad side effects as well, to have something that's natural. And what could be more natural than light?
Yes. What could be better for you, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So, John, what final pearls of wisdom or a pearl of wisdom would you like to drop on the audience for them to think about before we sign off?
Join the light train, join the red light therapy train. I mean, it does sound very, like I was saying back in those many years ago, it sounds a bit too hippie, doesn't sound so trustworthy. But just really, I want everyone to, after listening to this, to just go to YouTube and type in red light therapy and then do some research. I think, yeah, I think it's something that would potentially change your life for the better, right?
Absolutely. And we can all use a little bit of that. Maybe I should try it on my throat. It's very dry here in Colorado. Well, John, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, again, it means a lot to be on the channel, to have access to your audience. That really is special, and hugely appreciated.
Well, we appreciate you. I mean, this has been really uplifting. And like I said, it's a positive and powerful message of hope.
Thank you. That's great.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. What a wonderful episode. And what a powerful message. I mean, our bodies really are incredible. They have an incredible capacity to heal itself as long as we give them the right environment to do so. And the red light therapy can do that for all of us. As I've said, I've used it on my skin, for my dry eye, and I cannot wait to try Lumaflex because that is definitely on my list. So do share this episode with everybody you know, and remember that your health is the one thing that you can control, and it's the most important thing that you have. And that is the way of the FemiNinja.